Big Daddy being a little cagey, and who wouldn't be going against Rob Bruins for a lot of money.
Not about ready to give away the secrets that he may try to use as he goes into the final of Top Fuel Eliminator against Rob Bruins. Here is Gordy Bonham, the Nationals champion. He's got that right lane. Let's see how he can do as he comes up against the Hawaiian, the car owned by Roland Leong and driven by Ron Colson. In the previous round, Colson ran a 6.35 second elapsed time, while Bonham ran a 6.40. Just 0.05 of a second separated their performances. Bear in mind they were both in the left lane in the previous round, and by virtue of the lower ET, the lane choice going to Ron Colson here in the semifinals. Together, and Colson goes out of control and crosses the center line, which means automatic disqualification. So Gordy Bonham moves into the finals. A fine 6.64 second elapsed time. His speed 231 as the best time turn yet today seems in that right-hand lane by Gordy Bonham. Right here is Ron Colson out of control. You see him heading into that right-hand lane. He backs off the throttle, turns the wheel back to the left, but it's too late. He's already crossed the center line, and that means instant disqualification. You can't cross the center line in any run in competition. Here's Gordy Bonham and Ron Colson.
Gordy Bonham, possibly the only driver this year to make it into 3 final rounds in national event competition.
Well, if that's the case, we're going to have to win it. I mean, we came here, there's only one thing to do, and that's win the darn thing.
Don Garlitz just told me that a man can win this race in that right-hand lane.
He's not wrong. I don't know what we ran, but it felt pretty good for that lane. It felt the best run I've felt or seen all weekend in that lane.
In the 660s, and let's go back up to the starting line and see if you win lane choice.
Okay.
Okay, let's watch.
As Gordy Bonham watches, John Force hopefully overcomes his mistake of the previous round and will start the car in low gear off the starting line. He had a big break as he wanted his crew member directing him back into his own tracks, trying for the traction that he hopes against hope will be there. Alongside of him, Trip Shoemake. Driving for Johnny Loper. Shoemake hailing out of Phoenix, Arizona. As he told Steve a little bit earlier, this is the first time he got to the semifinals of a national event this year. In the previous round, Shoemake with a 6.60 easily outdistanced the time by John Force. But all important right now is how quick will they run to determine who gets the lane choice in the finals against Gordy Bonham. And they both smoke the tires. John Force drifting out towards the guardrail. He backs out of it and gets back in it, but it's too late as Trip Shoemake moves into the finals. His elapsed time, 6.88 seconds, and a dejected crew member heads back for John Force's crew to go down and tow the car back as race day is over for John Force. You see the two cars both losing traction right off the starting line, and Shoemake, recovering the quickest, gets the traction back and gets across the finish line first.
Well, the little guy is walking tall here today at the World Finals. I think this is your first ever final round appearance, and it's a big race.
It is. It's the first time I've ever been in an NHRA final. Wow, I'm awed.
Now, you won't have lane choice, but it's beginning to look like it's evening out.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not really sure what to do, but it's been so much luck all day. I figure we can just, at least long in the final, it helps out my crew and helps out everybody. It's been a long weekend.
Pumps everybody up for the season to come.
Yeah, we had such a bad season anyway, and then to finish.
You get a lot of fires, a lot of burned up bodies.
Yes, our second car and my third fire suit.
Trip Shoemake, it hasn't been a good year, but things are looking up here in the final race of the season. Wife Susie in here, John Loper, who owns the car. Back to you, David.
Steve, we're getting set for the finals of Top Fuel, Funny Car, and Pro Stock here at the World Finals. It's incredible the amount of work that is performed on these cars in the short time between the rounds of elimination. In Trip Shoemake's area, crewman taking the wheels and tires off, while car owner Johnny Loper under the rear of the vehicle checking something out in the rear end. Wife Susie Shoemake somewhat pensive as she is watching the crew working on the car, and driver and husband Trip Shoemake in adjusting the clutch and working on the rear of the motor. Let's go over to Gordy Bonnen's pit.
There's a real thrash going on here at the Canadian pacemaker car of Gordy Bonnen. Jerry Verhill's the crew chief. I understand you haven't heard a thing. What's all this thrash?
Well, we want to win, so we thought we better look and make sure. You know, these things are. They can break, and you don't even know it. So.
U.S. Nationals, you didn't hurt a part, but you field strip at every run.
We put 8 pistons in it today to start with, because the 8 that were in when we got here were from Indy.
How about your driver here? What do you think of his job today?
He's doing fine, just like always. Don't worry about him.
Do you talk to him at all? Do you give him any advice on driving? He doesn't bother you about the motor, you don't bother him.
I take care of this, and he takes care of that, and if we both do our job, we'll come out okay, right?
And it's been a great team so far.
Yeah, I think so.
While the funny cars get ready, it's time for the finals in Pro Stock. Wearing the big number 1 is the Plymouth Arrow of Bob Glidden, signifying he's the defending world champion, and he's also the new world champ, having wrapped up that title before ever coming to Ontario in the World Finals. He's racing against the only man to beat him this year, Frank Iaconio from Totowa, New Jersey, in the Chevy Camaro. And a whole shot for Iaconio puts him about a foot ahead of Glidden. Can he hold on for the win? Oh, what a close race to the finish. And it's Bob Glidden wins it. A tremendous close race. 8.65 seconds. The winning time for Glidden. 8.74 seconds. Almost a tenth of a second slower. But a lot quicker off the starting line was Frank Iaconio. At the finish, though, it's where it's important. And that's where Bob Glidden gets first by just a matter of inches.
Dave Bob Glidden trying to shed himself of all of the safety equipment. You can see the sturdy roll cage built in this car that houses a man who has broken yet another record, drag racing's first ever 5-time world champion. Congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
We had to race for this one.
Oh, those guys are terrible on me. I tell you, Iaconio was really tough on me.
They're really the only guys that have beaten you with any consistency at all.
Well, they've got their car, their performance is really good, and Iaconio is quite a driver.
Well, congratulations to you, Etta, the boys. It's great. 5 times world champ, Bob Glidden.
Thank you.
You bet.
Back on the starting line, all the work is over for the funny cars as they're backing through their own smoke after a long burnout. Trip Shoemake has the problem of the right-hand lane as wife Susie backing him into his own track, hoping that he can find the traction that no one else has found. His competition, Gordy Bonnen, won his race in that right-hand lane the previous round as Ron Colson crossed the center line, and he ran quick enough to gain the lane choice over Trip Shoemake. But this track has been very tricky in both lanes all day long. So it really is anybody's race at this time. Both very competent, very capable drivers. The third appearance in the finals of the national event. Thus far in 1979 for Gordy Bonnen. As you heard Trip tell us earlier, this is the first time he's ever been there, and he's almost in awe of the whole thing. The burnouts are over. Crew Chief Jerry Verhill directing driver Gordy Bonnen to the starting line. Shoemake approaching those light beams for the electronic starting system known as the Christmas tree. The tree goes green, and both cars smoke the tires. Gordy Bonnen recovers and heads across the finish line first. For the third time this season, Gordy Bonnen wins an NHRA national event. The elapsed time for Bonnen, 6.53 at 234 miles an hour. You see Shoemake just smoking the tires ever so slightly, but he's obviously down on power as Gordy Bonnen streaks across the finish line to take home the World Finals title back to Delta, British Columbia, Canada.
Well, out the jack-in-the-box comes Dave McClellan as he has won the Winston World Finals, Super Nationals, and Funny Car Eliminator. The World Championship may be going to Raymond Beadle, but you're the only guy all year in Funny Car that won 3 national events. Congrats.
Thanks, Steve. Gee, what a battle.
You're bushed, huh?
I'm mentally exhausted. I mean, to figure this track out, Jerry and I have been put in 100 hours this weekend.
Were you a little worried when you saw him maybe get out first that he would hook up in that line?
No, his car always moves real hard in the start line. We got this thing choked up so bad that it's like at Indy. The thing leaves real bad, but...
Choked up, you mean what?
Tight clutch.
Well, congratulations to you and the pacemaker team, and the U.S. green again goes back to Canada.
We love it. Thank you very much.
Gordy Bonnen.
A very tired but happy man, Gordy Bonin, winning Funny Car Eliminator. Back in the pits for Top Fuel Eliminator, quite a thrash going on in Rob Bruin's pit area. As you see the crew working hard, putting the engine back together. Having taken it completely apart, Bruins and the crew working hard to get it back together for the final. As in Don Garlett's pit area, things, by contrast, a little more relaxed. Big Daddy, you heard him tell us earlier that he can win the race in the right-hand lane. And nobody is better at reading a racetrack than Big Daddy Don Garlitz. We'll be back with the finals of Top Fuel Eliminator in just a moment. This is what the huge crowd at Ontario Motor Speedway has been waiting to see. Big Daddy Don Garlitz against the new world champion Rob Bruin. And Bruins is the defending champion here at the World Finals, and he, in this race, has got the good lane, as Garlitz, by virtue of elapsed times, only 0.04 of a second apart, but he was the slower time of the two in the semifinals, gets the bad lane. We've got word that Steve knows something about this race.
Dave, no one is more particular about weight on a race car than Big Daddy Don Garlitz. He likes them featherweight. Yet his crew confided in me in the staging lanes that Big Daddy has added a significant amount of weight to the rear end of this car, trying to get it to hook up in that right-hand lane. He is crafty. Let's see what happens.
We'll know in just a couple of moments, Steve, as both cars have completed their burnouts. They're creeping into the staging beams. Will the weight make the difference for Big Daddy? The light's green, and it's Rob Bruins out first, but Bruins is out of control. He backs out of it, and here comes Garlitz. And Don Garlitz, Big Daddy, proves it again. He wins it to the jubilation of this crowd. They are going crazy. Here you see Bruins just out of control. Heads right towards Don Garlitz, has to lift out of it, and then slowly but surely, here comes the swamp rat from Florida, Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Hey, Big Daddy, a happy Big Daddy. Bails out of his race car, but still opens the water petcock, force of habit, I guess. Big's going to check the motor over, even though he has already won the Top Fuel title here at this Winston World Finals. He's going to get his helmet off here, and we're going to try to talk to him. I know he's smiling. I can't even see him yet. Oh, boy. You did it. The right lane, just like you said you would.
Well, I smoked the tires, and he had me. And I'll be darned if he didn't go out of control and nearly cross the center line, and that's all I needed, and it just gathered him right up.
You know, going into this event, I've never seen so many of the supposed experts pick one guy. Everybody says they're not going to beat Big Daddy on this racetrack. He's just too crafty.
It was a racetrack that needed a lot of experience, no question about it. And I got one thing to say about it. There's a lot of people complaining about the track wasn't prepared properly. But no clutches were thrown out at this race. And if this is what it takes to have us have a safe race, I'm all for it.
Here's Rob Bruins. Robbie?
Congratulations, Rob. Again for winning the world champion. I saw, you know, you had me, and the thing got out of shape. Yeah. And you lifted. You got it. It almost crossed.
I had to. I know. I had
to. And that's just all the little break I need.
They've been calling this a driver's race, and the guy that's been driving these things forever.
We got the world champion here, and I'm proud of him.
He's a worthy one, isn't he?
Nice young man, and we're going to love to have him as our champion this year.
Thanks very much.
Very representative of the sport.
Dave, what can I say? A great conclusion to a fantastic event. Thank you.